All right, we are live. It is Wednesday, which means this is your Teach Better Brain Break. And as you can tell, I have totally upgraded the show. We got rid of Dave. We brought in Hedrick Nichols. We're ready to rock and roll. I was just telling Hedrick that I think Dave might be joining us at some point, but I don't know. And I don't know whether I'll let him in or not. So we'll see what happens. But I've got Hedrick with me. For the last couple minutes, she was telling me a story. She thought we were live. We weren't live yet, so I apologize for being selfish and just keeping that story from me. But maybe you'll share it with us again. So we're going to be right back in a couple minutes. If you get a chance, drop in the comments. Let us know where you're at, where you're watching from, what are you taking a break from, or just say hi to Hedrick because you're super excited because she's here and not Dave. Like, that's fine, too. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. I'm just going to start us off the right way. Everybody's thinking, Hedrick is here. Oh, and hi, Jeff. Like, that's what it is. Hi, Chelsea. So super pumped to have you on, my friend. I'm super, super lucky and special. So I actually got to hang out with you for a while yesterday. But today we're bringing the Hedrick show to all of you. So anyway, so where are you at? Because you're not at home. You're by
home. It is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and I am at home on my deck.
That is home. I guess I just never seen you on your deck, so I just didn't know that was your home. Yeah, okay. Is that like real? Is that legit brick, or is that like a cool design?
No, this is like literally my owl.
It's like brick. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, I'm glad. Okay, you're home. That's good. I didn't know. So good to be there. How is it down there in Texas? It's hot here in Ohio. It's 80. It was like 81 degrees here today, which is pretty hot for us. That's a good day for us. Now, I'd like to remind. I say that, but last Thursday I was literally in a whiteout. Couldn't drive. Whiteout, snow, and then today it's 81. Yesterday was hot too. How is it in Texas? Is it hot? Has it been hot? I mean,
no,
it's usually
not yet. It was actually quite cool this morning, like low to mid 60s, and now it's mid 70s. So it's perfect breeze.
Yeah, she said quite cool. She said that 60s is quite cool. Cool. Yeah. I'm not talking to anybody. There's no one over there. But
for
Texas, that is. It is. You're right. It is a little chilly. I'll never forget the first time I ever went to Texas. Chad and I flew down, and it was like we were like doing a presentation. So like we were in like not suits, but we were in like shirts, button-up shirts and slacks and stuff. And like we got off the airplane, we're like, whoa, it was like 104 or something like that. It was nuts in Dallas. And that's what I was like, wow, this is Texas. No longer flying in the clothes I'm going to wear because they're soaked in sweat now anyway. So anyway, when does it get like super hot there? When does it start like really kicking in? Is it June or is it?
It could be
any time now.
It could be super hot in December. It could be it could be mid 80s in December. It could be snow in December. Literally just never know. Hey, Jill. Yeah, but super hot for sure starts in mid-June, July.
Okay.
What are you just for hot? Because I mean, you're talking
Texas all the time.
My Swiss friends say super hot is 80s. So you're in Ohio, it gets pretty cold. So what are you calling?
Well, yeah, I mean, for us, like super hot, honestly, is when we get in the 90s, that's getting pretty hot. Like, you know, like our summers, like we're typically in the 80s, but we'll see 90s, and that's when it's getting like you're like, oh, it gets hot out, you know. But
May, June, and then July and August are blistering. You know, it's like if you're north of the Mason-Dixon line, don't come. I love Katie. That was cool.
I love it. Yeah, hi to Jill. Nikki's here. Carly's here. Jeff Kaplan's here. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you, friend. Chelsea is here. What's that?
Did you see that? It's like, hi, Hedrick. Oh, hi, Jeff. Did you see that?
They're all like that. It's pretty much all been that way. So, Like that's just where we're at. That's why we left it up that way. So Jeff's about to hit the disc golf course. I love it. He's out there. 76. So it's warmer in Ohio right now than it is in North Carolina or in Georgia. He's just outside of Atlanta. So
Wow.
that's interesting. Right? Yeah, we're still at 81 right now. So it's a good day.
I know that people are saying hello to you and to me. I just want you to know that I did put on a hat so that people wouldn't get a total culture shock. You know what I mean? I got I'm doing my Dave.
Okay, I'm like, what do you mean call? I'm like, oh, okay, like you're connecting to Dave. I got it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like I get it. Okay, I'm gonna put this up because I just need that every now. That's for me. This is me. Hey, look who's here.
Hey,
I'm not here, but I am totally in another meeting and not checking to see Hedrick still on the show.
But I got you, Dave.
So that's what's going on, obviously. So Dave had a meeting today at his university. So I'm like, hey, you want to come be the better Dave? And you're like, I am every day. So sure, might as well do it live. So it's awesome to have you here. I just want to, so some people I think watching probably maybe haven't been connected with you as much, maybe don't get to catch you as often. You're going to be appearing more and more, so they're going to get to know you. But if anyone doesn't know you, can you kind of give the rundown? Like, what are you doing day to day? Like, what's your role in education? What do you do? Who the heck are you? And why are you here with Jeff?
Hi, I am Hedrick Nichols, author, educator, and host of a podcast and YouTube series called Small Bites. How do you eat an equity elephant one small bite at a time? So the focus is on equity and education. I have a couple of books that I just wrote. Got one coming out for teachers on Solution Tree coming up this year. And I am connected to Jeff because as a part of the Teach Better team, I am the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, hey.
I love it. So super excited to have you on. So I have no script. We don't script this. We don't know what we're doing. I'm curious to know how your year has been. Now we've had conversations, but I'd love for you to share everyone else, like how your year has been. How are the students, your fellow educators and your community, like how have they handled this year? And how are we doing like right now as we've kind of seen the light of the tunnel, but end of the tunnel, but we're not quite sure like if we're getting too excited or we need to be more cautious or like what's going on? Like where are you at right now? How's everyone feeling? And what's the thought process for the next couple months as we finish off the year? That was a lot. I apologize. That was like 13 questions rolled into one. So you just do your thing.
I think everyone is toast. Everyone is toast. I mean, I'm not seeing signs of like the annoyed exhaustion, which is good. It's just kind of everyone's, the focus is gone. I think the focus is gone. Teachers are exhausted. Yesterday here, we across Texas, we did STAR for 4th and 7th grade and high schoolers. And so that was kind of, beastly. Everybody's toast. But what I'm getting is still a lot of excitement. I have personally just I made sure I finished my first unit, my last major unit last 9 weeks, so that going forward in this semester, everybody who's got to do EOCs and end of course testing and all that, they've got room for that. And we are doing design challenges, period. So it's really kind of fun. You know what I mean? It's brain breaky. It's I don't know if do you know Kumo Space?
I don't know Kumo Space.
Oh man. Okay. So
tell us more.
Let me shout out Kumo Space. I forgot the guy's name who designed it. It's a fairly new program. I learned about it from Bonnie Nieves at Biology Goddess online, one of the Etches sisters. Hey, anyway, she invited me to this pool party. And it is a virtual space that has about 15 kind of things. You can have a student center, a park, a classroom, a chill zone, a pool bar, a rooftop bar, all these different kinds of places. And we've been hybrid. We were virtual at the beginning of the year, and now they're hybrid. Still about 50 to 60% of the kids online. And so collaboration has really, really been hard. And since all of my units are PBL units or project-based learning units, that's been hard because the Zoom breakout room, they just kind of sit. And if I pop in, they'll do what I ask. But, it's just too close. It's too intimate. And Kumo Space gives them an actual physical space that they can move around in. They can sit at desks in pods. They can, hang out on the grass. They can, have.
But in the virtual world, they're doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it just makes it so much more. It's like being in GTA and hanging out there. You know.
So okay, so that's what I'm gonna say. Is it like they have little avatars that they build, and that's what they move around in, or is it just their faces, or like how are they represented?
I think that's coming, but you're there with your camera on.
Okay, so it's you going with your camera. Okay.
Yeah, so you have
there's an office one, a business one called Teamflow HQ, where you build like a digital office space that you have. I mean, there's a conference table, there's whiteboards, there's offices, there's chairs and stuff, and your little face would be whatever my camera's seeing, and I move it around, and I can go to different spots. Now, does that have this has like the surround? This one has like the surround audio, which means if you were in one spot, like in your office in our digital world, and I moved my face to it, I would, as I got closer, I'd be able to hear you more and more, just like in real life.
That's why.
Is that what it's like, or
yeah, that's what I reference GTA because for gamers, that uses the proximity chat. And
yep.
I can broadcast to all of the rooms that I have. They're like 30 rooms per person. Or I can use the proximity chat so that I can say, hey guys, everybody come over here. And it's really cool because they can also say, okay, I'm team captain. Definitely without the GTA, right? I don't know. Arlington's a big, Arlington has a stadium for the Cowboys and also an esports arena. So, that kind of stuff's big down here. Anyway, so I can literally go into a corner of the room and say, meet me in the north corner of the room over in the corner by the plants. And everybody gets to physically move. You use your arrows to move. So just having that actual sort of physical feeling, a kind of a physical feel, makes them collaborate a whole lot more. So we're just doing design challenges like, okay, your team has to build a robot out of whatever you can find on the internet. What?
Okay.
And okay, this team has to do a scavenger hunt with 10 things on them, like a selfie with your pet or a teddy bear, and only 2 of them can be pulled from the internet. So you got to use your kids who are at home who have a teddy bear and a pet, and you can use your kids. So it's sanitize. Yeah. Things like that they can find at school, take a picture of with a Chromebook or phone. So it just opens up a lot of possibilities. So we have
is it Kumo, like KUMO space?
Yes.
Like KUMO space? Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat here so if anybody's interested in what you're talking about. It looks very similar to what I was talking about, with just a different person making it and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Curious about the robot thing. Has anybody said, well, I can go on to Amazon and buy a robot? Like that's on the internet. Does that count? Like somebody tried to pull that off?
They didn't. No, they just actually had to build a picture of one.
A picture one. Okay, gotcha.
But they had to figure it out. Did they use? Some people use pictures of robot parts. Some people built it out of like shapes. Whatever they're
okay.
But they had to actually design it and work as a team. So we just got into the space. So they're just kind of like learning to navigate it, and so it's still pretty new and exciting. And yeah, that gives them a little break from testing and stuff like that.
That's cool. That is neat. We may have to do something where you share that live, like obviously without the kids' faces, but like that's a cool tool. I like that.
I got a video. I've got to see if I can edit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I said line up and move through the desks around the room. Hilarious. I don't know if you know Pac-Man from back in the day.
That's what it looked like.
Like it was supposed to look like Centipede, but it looked like Pac-Man.
But it looked like Pac-Man where they're all going all over the place because they went this way, that way.
Yeah,
I love that. It was supposed to look like Centipede, but it looked like Pac-Man. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's because you're
young.
Apparently really young. Although my kids, it's not Centipede for my kids. They play Slither.io. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah,
it's like Snake, but it's like the new version of that. Like, anyway, okay, so that's cool. So you're still innovating even during this exhaustion and everything that's going on. Still utilizing, trying to find new ways to engage the kids. How's the community feeling? Like, how are the kids themselves feeling? Is it just become like this is normal? This is what life is right now, or are they still feeling exhaustion too, and is that actually from them, or is it because they're feeling it from their educators and from the parents and stuff like that? Like, how do you feel? Like, how's your community and stuff?
Mixed bag. The last major project was really great to get a feel. It was kind of like a major mood meter in writing. They had to design a mini novel. Well, they had some choices. Explain this one to me. 7th graders don't like to write, right? So you can either do a mini novel. Hi, Pippa. Hi, Holly. Sorry, the neighbor dogs. You can either do a mini novel, minimum work
Okay.
2,500 with some graphics and a cover design and a voice audio clip.
Okay.
Or you can do a comic book, storyboard that, something like that. Or you can do a kind of, there were like a visual story. And they chose the novel with the word count of 20.
To write the, well, I mean, I guess it depends on, like, because you would think if someone's very visual or decent with, or likes to do graphic design and all, like the comic book, you can do that with not even half the words, like the 10th of the words. It's
Yeah.
no one, they all went that way, or was it a group vote, or they each individually get to pick?
They all, I'm like 90. I had two that weren't the novel, and
Yeah.
I got the highest turn-in rate that I've gotten all year. So I'm still trying.
I guess they do like to write. I mean, are they a lot to say?
Well, I said, you asked me about community, and the reason this has to do with that, I think that's what it was. They got to talk. They got to, the prompt was, it's 2040, and you're living your best life. You invent yourself as a grown-up 30-something-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You look back on the year of the great pandemic. And so I think they just needed to talk and to say. So a lot of people, the vaccine killed people, and a lot of people died at the end of this. So I think there's a lot of anxiety from what I'm reading
Of what's happening, yeah, because of all the unknowns still, yeah.
Because in their stories, almost nobody, I thought, my idea was they will be able to look beyond this and look back in the past.
Yeah.
Nobody could really get beyond it. Only a few stories were like, oh, I'm living my best life. I remember that day I told my son about it and moved back into my best life. There were venomous spiders killing people and zombie apocalypses. And like I said, the people were dying in lab experiments and dying from the vaccine that should have been the cure. So it seems to me that there is a lot more anxiety than we're really dealing with our listeners. And I think that they are doing amazingly well. They are holding it down. They're holding it down.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it'd be really interesting to figure out, like, of all those stories you got that had those types of things, like how many of those were just someone being super creative and thinking of it as a movie, and how many of them are really where you're at with if you think about where they're at in their life, they don't have a ton to like reflect on and be like, oh yeah, we'll get through this, because you know what I mean? Like,
right.
When you're 30, 40, or whatever, you can look back and be like, oh, like we've as humans, we've gotten through stuff before. So we are a little easier to be like, we'll probably get through this. And like, I'll live a while, we can look back. But yeah, you're right. At a younger age, it could be much harder to be like, oh, like, yeah, we're going to get through this. So like, oh, I don't know. Like, do we get through this? And how many of them are just like, oh, that's my opportunity to like share my creative side of zombie apocalypse and who actually thought that's going to happen. And that's interesting.
I'm glad you said that. I think I'm going to do.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really interesting to find out, like, yeah, and like, you know, what made you think of that? Like, it's just like, oh, it was just something that I thought would be cool. Like, okay, that's one. But if it's like, because I'm not sure what's gonna happen, like, oh, that's a whole nother. You know what I mean? Like, that's really interesting. So you should have the parents do the same thing. See where it goes from there.
God, right?
Well, of course, they won't have to tell their kids about it because they're living it. But so let me ask you that though, like along community as well. Like, how are your interactions with with your parents, stakeholders, and stuff? Are they, again, like my same question? Like, I know they're probably exhausted regardless, but are they too like, we're like, well, this is what school's like now, or are they still kind of bucking for change constantly? Or are they just, who cares at this point? Like, where are they at?
Our parents are, like I said, we still got almost 60% on my campus at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're much more safety minded than they are, let's get those kids back in the classroom. And we had STAR, but a lot of people opted out because they didn't want to send their kids back to campus, even though the campus did a great job of making sure there were no more than 10 to 12 people in classrooms and social. There's a lot of stuff that worked, but a lot of parents said, nope, don't care, staying home. And so there's that. When I talk to parents, like after the big Texas freeze, in case you don't know, a couple of months ago, Texas lost all their electricity, power, and even clean water here because there was cold Ohio type weather. And I mean, when I'm talking to somebody in Ohio,
Somebody somewhere in Texas flipped the wrong switch and they hit it to Ohio for some weird reason.
yeah,
They turned the dial a little too far.
yeah, exactly. So after that, we checked on parents because a lot of people, had lost. They lost.
Sure.
There's some real damage, and they had to move in with other people for a while, that kind of thing. And when I talked to them, they were still kind of like, "Oh, she's doing well at home. Yeah, no, we're not planning on coming back." And none of the parents I talked to were ready for a change, number one. And number two, I think the parents are tired. At the beginning of the year, there was a lot of I think all of us made ourselves more accessible to parents this year, with Google.
Absolutely, I think, yeah.
Just responsiveness generally. And everybody, my phone was pinging all the time. Hey, what's this? What's going on? How are we going to do this? Now it's like, roll with it, baby.
Oh, I love when we get a little song out of her. Yeah, and I think some of that goes to, like, for me as a parent, my kids have been 100% virtual all year long, and they're staying that way. Early on, I was much more active in messaging with both the teachers and stuff. For me, I'm less because it's just how school is now. This is like kids got the routine. We're good. We know what's going on. But I'm sure for a lot of people, I just don't have the energy to fight anymore. I don't have this energy to complain anymore. I don't have energy to try and push from the go, anything like that. But for me also, like with the whole not coming back, they surveyed us about a month or so ago, like in mid-February, about looking at like middle of March to come back face to face. Now we've been all year where you could choose. You were either in, which that went from 5 days to back and forth to a couple weeks of nothing, and now they've been back for a while. But then they gave all of us that had been continuing to choose to stay virtual the opportunity to say, hey, we're going back 5 days a week, but, do you want to do it? And a lot of parents, I think far more parents than the school expected, said, no, we're good. And for me, it was like, yeah, because it's March. Like, we don't have much time left. This is life right now. We've adjusted everything to be this. I'm like, we're gonna chill here we'll finish it off, and hopefully we'll back.
I don't know if you see the shirt, right?
Say, back to schoolish. I love it.
And I know a lot of people have gone back, and like you said, like in the last couple of weeks, a lot of schools have gone back, and I'm thinking, why bother? So yeah.
Well, for me, it was I'm totally supportive if it's safe and people want to. Like I'm 100% for that. But just for us, it was like, but now I'm going to make a completely change my kid's life again for the last 2.5 months. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be best for them. Now, and some did. In my son's third grade class, I think only one of his classmates took that option and is out and back in school. In my daughter's first grade, she had like 5 or 6. So it varies. Some people went back, some people didn't, whatever. So it's interesting.
So let me ask you, Jeff, I'm curious. So how is it? Because this is what I'm hearing, and this is from school parents and also just friends. How is it for your family model? How do you think?
Say that again. How's it for what?
For your family model. You know what I mean? I think that we basically we drop our kids off 7 a.m. We go to work all day. We pick them up, or we pick them up at daycare. You do homework, you do dinner, you go to bed. And for a lot of people, we've had there's a lot more interaction as a family because you have lunch together. You don't have drive because you're working at home, so you're home or you have more time to interact with your kids. I just think that as a family, depending on what your model is, this works for a lot of people. So I was asking. How is that for you guys personally?
For me, we're really fortunate that my role, I have a lot of flexibility, and our team's always been virtual anyway. So I've been working out of the office in my basement for a decade or so anyway. So we were definitely in a better position where it was much easier for us. My wife works super close. They've been open the whole time because she's a vet tech. They were deemed necessary or essential and stuff. So good there. We're also really fortunate that we do have both sets of grandparents for the kids. Both of our parents my parents about an hour away. Her parents are right down the road. So as we got comfortable into the summer and stuff, we were able to start bringing them into our bubble and whatnot. So we've had some help, but for me, I've spent, since the start of school to now, so much more time with my kids than I would have normally. And for me personally, what's been really awesome for me is to you see it as a parent, but you don't see it the same way. The growth happening, the actual learning happening. like you see it in other aspects as a parent, right? In day-to-day life and whatever, but like actually like sitting there and watching, my daughter go through a math exercise and then her explain something that a week ago she couldn't even like fathom. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like, I'm sure I would have caught it, but it's just different because I'm sitting right there with her, where normally she'd be, in the classroom with a teacher, and I may or may not know about it when she gets home because she may or may not display it in any way, right? And so that's been kind of cool and being a part of it, because I like I said, fortunate enough where I've been able to do that. So, when I have them here, I'm able to just like shut everything else down and just be there because she needs a little more help with reading directions and stuff. So for us, it's been good, I think, in a lot of ways. It's a little strange because my daughter requires a little more attention, both because she's, this year she's been learning how to read. She also has really, really high anxiety, so she requires a lot more attention when she's struggling with things, stuff like that. And my son, who's 9 and 3rd grade, he does pretty well, always done really well in school, but this year he's struggled more. And I think part of it is because we haven't given him the same attention that he might have got in class because we're taking care of her and stuff like that in different areas and stuff. And he's been able to like sneak by some stuff, like because he's like his daddy. He just tries to get the work done as fast as possible when it comes to school, and so we've had to get in there. But all in all, I mean, and he's really like a little social butterfly, so like he's missing that aspect, and I think that's making it harder for him to stay focused. But they're both doing really well. But we're really fortunate. Our district here has done well. Both our teachers, I don't know how everybody else has done, but both our teachers have done fantastic, I think, this year. They did great in the spring too. So for us, it's been a fun thing. Both grandmas have done a really good job helping when they have the kids and doing school, which has been a fun thing for them too, because they're experiencing like a whole nother world of education. Because if you think about like when I was in school, it's way different, and then you put it online, and so it's been fun to watch that too. So Am I looking forward to, them back in school in the fall? Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I want that to happen. I think there's a lot of important pieces to that. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I might kind of miss them a little bit more because like I had them all year this year. You know what I mean? So it's been fine for us. It's thrown some things off, but we adjusted, and I think that's why when we had the opportunity to potentially send them back, I'm like, no, like we're good. Like we got our different. It's different than it used to be, but we've got our rhythm, we've got our stuff. I'm like, and that would completely change if we send them back because it's different because they wouldn't go to grandma's on certain days, and they wouldn't, and I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? It's just a different everything. So it's been good. I think is my really long-winded way of saying that. So. But all signs do show that we'll probably be back in fall, I'd imagine, assuming things continue to go the way they are, and I think that'd be good, especially for really specifically for my daughter, because I think she really needs to get in there and be with people. She did okay this year because she was very aware of the pandemic, and with her anxiety, that she wouldn't have done well in school. But I think she's gonna be really excited to get in there and see people face to face and stuff. I think Jonathan, it's going to hit him. He's going to realize how cool it was to do it at home because he got done a lot earlier.
Right.
So he could get back to gaming much quicker. So he'd be like,
high schooler loves that aspect. He's like, I'm done. Oh, I couldn't sleep because after the time changes, my kid was born at exactly 3 a.m, and he's always been super sensitive to like he just has an internal clock.
Sure.
Instead of up at 7, he's usually up at 6 now. And he's like, oh yeah, I went ahead and went for my morning run. And actually I got my math and reading done. So I was like, what are you doing? Why are you hanging in the kitchen munching? What are you I finished, I got up early at 6, so I was done.
Yeah. Now what grade is he though? What grade is he?
Junior this year.
He's a what?
Junior.
Junior, okay, that's what I was thinking. Junior, I couldn't remember which he was. Yeah, so which is great that he sees that. Oh, like let me get it done. So then I'm dumb because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just not going to do it, hold it off. And so I was trying to, Jonathan figured that out. Now that's also led to some of the problems because he's like, well, I'm just going to done really quick. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you have to like read the directions and do what you're supposed to do and get the learning out of it. So we're working on a lot of that. Like today, like we sat, there was like a live read aloud and he had to do a reflection on the story and like he was really struggling. So we watched together and took notes together and stuff like that, which again, that's something I wouldn't get to do with him normally, right? You know what I mean? Because he'd do it in class. Now, he may not need me if he was in class, but we're home, so it's just kind of a moment that we get to have and stuff, and I'm grateful for that. That's a fun experience. So, but I'll be okay when I don't have them, I think. So we'll see what happens. So I do know both grandmas are definitely okay with this because they're getting to see them more during the school year than they would have normally, because we can take them out to my parents who are an hour away because they don't have to go to school both days, so like it's just, and both grandmas like set up they have like their school space in their houses, and we have big, like the science boards, the three panel boards all decorated and stuff. And they even did, our schools do like the clip charts for like making good choices throughout the day. When the kids created those for both grandma's house, like they made them. Of course, they also control them. Grandma doesn't get to do anything; they do it. But it's just funny that they made it so much like school there. So it's been a fun experience. So a lot of comments coming through, and I'm not reading any of them.
I saw one you just flashed, and I wanted to see that one.
Which one?
7. It's 5 days a week, 7. I don't know. I was listening to you. I can't multitask. It's highly overrated.
Loud remote for those 5 days. Oh, here we go. Nikki says most districts in her area 5 days for elementary from the start, and hybrid from middle high. Return at several districts. So okay, so she's over in like the northern PA, southern New York area. And then I saw someone earlier said, where's that at?
That's the thing that I'm looking at this one. The whole, people have been suing to go 5
suing them.
And that's, I kind of resent that as an educator, simply because I'm not a babysitter. I understand that you need to be able to go to work, but I think that industry needs to have, it should not be all on a teacher's shoulders. You know what I mean? Because teachers are also taking care of older family members, or they have health issues, or they have, family members or husbands and wives who have health issues, and they are not safe. If you notice in the news, you've hardly seen all the numbers, the high numbers of teachers that we've lost this year because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, you see a white officer kill a black guy, and it's like, oh, front page news. But the teachers who are dying on the front lines every day, the nurses and doctors who are dying, they're essential. We can't let that be big. And I kind of resent that, because that's not what, I don't think that's what teachers, I know it's not what we signed up for.
Not what you signed up for, no.
About us learning to use guns and carry on campus in case there's a shooter. If I wanted to,
not what you signed up for. When even you mentioned even like doctors and nurses, they also didn't sign, like a lot of people are like, oh, they signed. I'm like, no, they signed up to help people, not potentially get deadly diseases. Like that's not what they signed up for.
No,
but so it's this interesting thing, and this is another, like we've seen this a lot, since last year and earlier this year, and it's like how quickly the world changed from, oh my God, teachers should be paid billions of dollars a year to get back into the classroom, and it's just because early on we realized really quick two really important things. One, it's really tough to control and teach kids. And two, so our world does really need teachers for a lot of different things, because it's hard to control kids, and the school system provides lunches and security and others the ability to work and stuff. And it's like, so for it's the sliver of time, we're all like, we really love teachers and respect them. And then it's like, but I'm still inconvenienced, so forget them. And it was crazy, the whiplash.
Yeah. And like you said, everybody wants to give teachers $1 billion as long as we don't have to be inconvenienced. But oh my God, I have to stay home and deal with my own child all day. And it's one thing if we have people who are essential workers, and we make sure that teachers, if you're older and you have underlying health issues, you have to not work. And if you are an essential worker, then we have to find somewhere for your child. I think, you know what I mean? But not just, let's all do school from 8 to 4, 5 days a week because we need to open the economy. I really have resented that. That's just not, kids need other services at school. That's not what school is for. Kids need other services, yes. But why don't we have enough health care so the kids don't have to get all these essential services? Why aren't people earning a living wage so that they can afford to put food on their table? And that's I think the problem is that there's all these other underlying problems that have always been there that we've ignored, and we say this about things inside the school. So a lot of just equity and all those types of things within the school, but it's also like outside of the school, things that have been highlighted because of all of this. Mm-hmm. And you just hit a big one, which is like
schools provide, like, so much of what schools had to really start worry about on top of anything back in at the start of this was
Feeding.
getting kids food, right?
Yep.
And you hit it right there. It's like, well, great, we need to take care of that, but like we need to not forget that and realize that there's a huge underlying problem. The fact that like that wasn't because people were losing their jobs yet. Like that hadn't happened yet. That was because they're not making enough money to begin with. So how do we fix that? Right? Like that type of thing. And yeah, it's just crazy. And I worry so much. And I think honestly, a lot of stories like with this people suing and stuff like that. Like I really worry that so much of what was hit with spotlights this past year has already been forgotten. And we're going to forget, like, and the bigger changes, the needed changes aren't going to happen because we're going to get back to face, and everyone's going to be like, oh, life's back to normal. Everything's good. Like, let's move on. Yeah. Well, what about, no, like, everything's okay. Like, we're not going to talk about 20. We're not going to, like, yeah, but what about all that? No, it's okay. Because everyone's like, equity doesn't matter. Like, they're all back in school, so they got it. Like, it's cool. Like, those things. Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm usually an optimist, but for that and that particular thing, I'm like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and so. You can say, because I remember at the beginning, teachers are scrambling for lessons and lesson plans, and I teach ed tech, so it wasn't a major move for me. I was literally. I already used Google Classroom. We had a virtual environment. They were used to logging in, and we, chat. All of those things were in place for my class. But I'm one out of a gazillion teachers, or a few out of a gazillion teachers. If you taught third grade math, you were not doing any of that. You might have had some iPads for intervention, but to have to pivot and move your whole class online, teaching kindergartners 100% virtual. Oh my! I can't imagine. But
without having any of those pieces in place beforehand, like
right, exactly. But what are we talking about? We were talking about, oh my God, my kids can't eat. If you go back and like look at chats and tweets and how are we gonna feed the kids? Oh my God, we were not concerned about. We were trying to be concerned about. We were trying to be concerned about how we're going to teach, but mostly teachers were saying, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" But how are they going to eat? That is what I want to do because I love to do that. I keep snacks but I don't hygiene products and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that teachers could not think of teaching because we're thinking about, oh my God, let me check on my kids. And I bought groceries and made sure they got to so-and-so and them because I knew that they didn't have anything to eat because that shouldn't be the case. And I do it. It does not bother me personally to do it, but the fact that people are in that kind of need in a state where we are the second richest state in the nation, that we have to do that.
But you kind of said it there, like you don't mind doing it, you like doing it, you'll do it if you see a need, but you shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be your responsibility. Yeah, and that's the problem, and
But of course, we do it. That's the whole, and that's the conundrum.
Well, yeah, because that was the system that fit, right? It's what worked, so we'll just do that next time when it happens again. So,
yeah.
Oh man, boy, like this is we're gonna let's flip it. Let's go somewhere funner, more fun than this. Let's go somewhere else. I'm trying to think what I want to do here. Well, do me a favor if you're watching right now. I saw Megan earlier. I wanted to say, but Megan Wells is in the house, so if we can fill the chat with some green hearts for her, that'd be great because she made that happen before. Hedrick, let's do like a. It's not going to be 20, but like a 20 questions of Hedrick Nichols here. But it's only going to be a few because you're on here. You're not always here, so like here we go. So. I'm just gonna make them up. I don't have a list or anything. I'm not as good at this as Dave is. But so you're in Texas, born and raised, or from originally somewhere else?
Nope, born and raised.
Born and raised, same area or different part of Texas? Always. All right. Okay.
H-Town. What does that mean? Do you know what that means? You're always talking about how you're down here, so I want you to tell me, what does H-Town mean?
H-Town? How I'm down there? I've been down there like 3 times. And it's been 2 years. I don't know. H-Town is that no, because you're not in Houston, are you?
That's where I was born.
You're born in Houston. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. How far is that from you now? How far is that?
4.5 hours drive.
Okay, I was gonna say because like Texas, like distance, it's so crazy how far you can go just in Texas. All right, so
would you like to hear a fun fact about Texas?
Yes, we would.
This is how big Texas is. People don't quite understand. Why don't you guys have any public transit? The distances are really, really, really huge. If you flip Texas on its head, it'll touch Canada. If you flip Texas
Across the okay.
It goes all the way down to the Panama Canal. If you flip, I think that's right. If you flip it all the way to the left, it'll go to the Pacific Ocean. You flip it all the way to the right, it'll go to the Atlantic Ocean. That's how big Texas is.
It's huge. It's crazy because if you look at, it's nuts. So, it's big. It's hot.
It's big and it's hot. Yep.
It's big and it's hot.
And we have trouble keeping on electricity, but
All right, so let's keep going. So, how many, if more than one, how many states have you lived in throughout your life? Don't worry, I'm going to get the countries too.
3 states and 1 should be a state.
What are those 3 states and should be state?
Atlanta, New York, because when I worked as a singer, I lived there for a hot minute. Texas and Washington D.C. Hello,
Washington D.C., Texas, and Atlanta. The great state of Atlanta.
I'm Georgia. Sorry.
Did you? So you obviously you lived in Atlanta. Did you live downtown or in the outskirts?
Up near Gwinnett County.
Oh, you're in Gwinnett. Okay, yeah, yep. My brother's actually down in Midtown. And works at Grady Memorial, and I've spent time down in that area down there in Gwinnett. So love Georgia. All right, how many countries have you lived in? Any other countries?
Yes, 2.
2 other. Well, what are the 2 other? I only know.
No, that's 2 other ones here, and then
2. Okay, and then Switzerland. So, and how long were you there? I forget how long you were there.
15 years.
And you know where I'm going. What were you doing over there?
Teaching.
What else? What else did you do while you were over there?
I was a performer. I sang music and taught grown-ups how to sing music, and garnered a Grammy nomination, and did cool videos that my kids discovered this morning online.
Oh, like your students discovered today? No kidding. Which one did they discover?
Song About.
Song About. Okay. So now you all know you can search Song About in Hedrick and you'll find it. You're welcome.
Somebody actually said, Miss Nichols has a Spotify. And I was like, you do know y'all have an assignment that's due at the end of the period, right? So.
Not anymore, they don't. They're like, scratch that assignment. This is done. I love it. Favorite sport?
Football. It's Texas.
Favorite football team? Who's your college football team? Is it Texas? You Longhorns, or do you go somewhere else?
I never liked college ball. The rules are just weird to me. It's like NFL, but not. It's just I never liked college ball.
So who's your NFL team?
Steelers. Is there another one?
Yours is okay. Explain that to me. How do you become a Steelers fan down in Texas?
Okay. I will go ahead and date myself because literally when I really I grew up in a football household, and when I came up, it was like the steel curtain was just, it was like the steel curtain and Vince Lombardi. It was like these, it was just the Steelers.
And so, but like not a Cowboys fan, not.
First of all, I grew up in Houston, so if another team, the Oilers, the now defunct Oilers,
the Oilers would have been
always rivals of the Cowboys. So never.
So was there a time where it was Oilers or no?
Unless they were playing the Steelers. It was always home team.
Just don't get the Steelers thing, but Chad's happier now because Chad's a Steelers fan. Man, he's messed up too.
That is an epic ball club. You know what I mean? We're talking about
you need to connect with Rob Breyer and let him share with you some of his Steelers stories. He's got some like being in like the locker rooms and stuff stories. He has a strong connection to the Steelers. So anyway, okay, so second favorite sport outside of football. Do you have any other? Or are you just like, nope, it's football and nothing else? Are you a baseball fan? You kicking with soccer at all? Like,
I'm trying to think of some other sports. So yeah, I
like,
guess
are there any other sports? Basketball? Like nothing? No.
no.
All right. Hey, Dave. We need to figure out what's going on here because we just found out that.
Okay, wait, hold up. There we go. I was trying to
you have just been dominating this. I mean,
she wore the hat so it wasn't as
know.
much of a culture shock. So, but we just found out that Hedrick is a Pittsburgh.
I got you, Dave.
That's
She's
amazing. Don't ever try to copy me, though. If you want to just raise the game here, just raise the game because anything you do to try to mimic me just brings us back.
Brings it back down.
Just be you.
I'm doing the Abe Epic, the Epic Dave thing, the Dave Epic thing. There we go.
Okay.
This is.
Hey, Alex, do me a favor. Throw a link in the comments when you can, buddy.
Oh my God, dude.
So Dave, we just found out that Hedrick is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, even though she has zero connection to the Steelers in any way, shape, or form in her life.
Well,
everybody's allowed one flaw. It's okay.
Now, my cousin did actually make the he got cut in the second round, I think. But
that doesn't work. My cousin's brother-in-law played for the Steelers, and we still didn't convert. She still didn't convert. She did for like the one season, then she's like, "Yeah, I'm out."
Hold on. Hedrick, was your excuse for being a fan that you knew somebody that didn't make the team? Because I didn't make the team either.
Oh, well, no. I mean, my excuse you don't need an excuse for being a fan of the team that has the most rings in the NFL. I mean, why would I need an excuse for that?
Oh, so you're a Fairweather fan.
Fairweather
Gotcha.
fan.
Okay,
Yes.
just want to make sure I knew.
A real fan is like a
of most
Lions
Pittsburgh
fan or a
fans.
Browns fan.
When is the last time the Steelers got a ring? Okay, and I am still a Steelers fan.
I don't want to hear.
Yeah, but that's because you were
a Detroit Lions fan. I don't want to hear anything. So,
oh, Detroit.
Right, yeah, I'm
exactly
a Browns fan
right.
over here. So
we
like,
understand.
That's just
everybody go home.
I grew up with Mean Joe Green and the Pepsi commercial. I mean, that's stuff.
Oh man, Dave, how was your meeting, my friend?
I am glad to be here. I'll just
Did you get the email I sent over with your official letter of termination because you're out?
Well, I'm sure it's still sending. It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Had I seen it, I would not have shown up here. I would have been probably in a.
I colored it pink, so it's a pink slip thing going. So you've been replaced.
Actually, when I read it, it said I'd been promoted, and that I have a new role or title.
I even had to switch that to make sure that Hedrick was on top.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Wow. You got love on top.
We've got some singing out of her today too, which has been great. So your meeting was, yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
That's good.
Glad to be
you're here, brother. Glad you're here. I was trying to do my best Dave, and just on the spot, I was asking some random questions to Hedrick, and that's what we're getting to. She doesn't know any other sports other than football, so we're moving on from there.
Well, wait,
I
have a better game.
Okay.
How about you and Dave talk, just whatever you're going to talk about, and I will pop in with a song for random sentences.
Ooh. Okay. So, Dave,
tell me to, Jeff. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm agreeing to getting Hedrick singing. That's what I'm. That's
my gosh. If anybody is watching this as they're driving home, I am so sorry. Just focus on the road. Focus on the road.
On
Dave,
the road, when time to get back on the road again. All right, go on.
Dave, what was your meeting about? Was it worthy of your time, or was it a waste of time?
Well, my meeting was at the YMCA, so I'm just
YMCA. YMCA.
Oh man, it was not at the YMCA. It was somewhere else.
My meeting was a real thriller. I can tell you that.
It was a thriller.
I know we can should we throw out some boy bands or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if you can tell or not, Dave, but I feel like Hedrick, in the three of us, we're really in sync right now. We're really right there. Nothing. I say in sync and it gets nothing.
I was about to bust out some in sync.
But it's not a song. It has to be words. You know what I mean?
She needs a song title.
Right, gotcha. Go bye here or what?
Yes.
Bye, Miss American Pie. Put the
what that works.
I love that we say NSYNC bye, and she goes there. I love it. That's good. That's good. Let me ask, Hendrik. Now I'm just curious though. What is your favorite style? Like, what's your favorite genre of music?
Doesn't exist. It's totally
Doesn't exist you wherever.
okay. What I play with my kids is one has to go. So if everything had to go and I could only have one style of music, it would probably be like 70s softies, classic rock. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Journey, James Taylor, REO Speedwagon. I'd probably stick there.
Do you have like a favorite? Do you have a favorite artist and or favorite song of like all time, or is it too hard to?
I do not, but I gave birth to best of James Taylor, so maybe
you gave birth to it. Like
that would kind of calm you down. That's awesome.
And I say that, and I usually use it to grade too. And the reason I picked that genre and him, that's music that I can't usually listen to. I'm not a passive listener. And that's music that I can listen to that I find it's calming. It's not obtrusive. It chills me out. It's like having
anything else you're gonna have to dance or sing or something.
Gotcha. Like when I want to clean, it's like, ooh, let me put on some Motown. Let me put on some, that some R&B.
What's your? Are you a runner? Do you work out? Do you anything like that? Like, is that a thing you do?
I mean, I have a rowing machine that I use faithfully, but that's about it.
Well, because like a lot of times with runners, you'll have like your power songs that like really get you going. Do you have like what's a song like when it comes on? You're like, I don't care what's going on. Like that's my jam. Just nothing else matters. I'm breaking it down. I'm belting it out. Whether I'm in a car stop, whether I'm in the grocery store. Like if this song comes on, are there any that just hit you?
Singing or dancing? Which I mean,
either or. Yes.
God, that's a mile long.
How about you, Dave? What Tim McGraw song does that for you?
Wow, I am glad you asked. Well played. So the Tim McGraw song that does it for me is "Real Good Man." I may be a real bad boy, but baby, I'm a real good man. That's it. When I hear that, I'm like, that's me. That's it. Yeah.
Dave, have you ever sung, like, you ever done like venture into music at all? Because I really feel like you have like a country voice. Like you could totally be a country singer.
I wish. I have done many a karaoke. The issue is, it's not the voice; it's the tone. It's the adjusting of the voice. Like if I could sing every song just from at whatever note this is, I'm good to go. But when you have to adjust, and it doesn't work. So
that's so cute.
So I know somebody who could help teach you how to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to sing? Come on! I think
she used to do that.
Can you? Okay, so Hedrick, you're going to teach me to sing. Jeff, can you teach me the guitar, like just an acoustic?
And we'll mix it up. It'd be good. Hedrick can probably teach you that too. I have a feeling she knows how to play everything too.
All right. So next week, Brain Break is my first lesson. Let's do it. No?
Okay, this is getting interesting.
What are we going to do? Tell me. I mean, you want to do Tim McGraw?
All of it. You're going
That's all he knows.
And sing songs in 55 minutes next week. Let's do it.
I mean, I think we should do what's the new Pink one? Pink with who is she singing with?
With Keith Urban.
Yes. Oh my God, I love
Keith Urban.
Yeah, that's my jam. That's one right now that it comes on. I gotta sing.
Hedrick, what instruments do you now play?
Piano.
I'm forgetting that we're even live right now. I'm just asking questions. I'm curious right now at this point. So.
Piano, drums, and voice. That's enough, isn't it?
Piano and drums. Like, can you do like a full set?
Yeah, you want me to play? Well,
no, like you can do a full, like you play like a full drum set, like the whole kit and caboodle, or just like a drum pad.
No, kit as in gigs.
Okay.
Yeah.
As in gigs. Gotcha. I can't do that. I have a drum set, but I can't play it. I give it up.
I play great.
I feel like I could play the drums. Don't you just grab some sticks and hit them? I mean, like just pound your foot,
really.
hit some sticks.
That's give or go. Okay. Give or take, it's about what. I mean, guitar you just do this, like
right. Yeah. Plays, I mean, I can technically play. I don't know if people would be able to sing along, but I could do it.
Yeah, I think is Hedrick frozen for you? She's frozen.
I think so. Yeah,
she's frozen. Hedrick, I think you're frozen.
Are you trying to give her a cue to a song to sing? Frozen. Sing any song from Frozen, Hedrick. No?
I'm gonna pull her out, and then hopefully I'll see her moving down there if she comes back. Okay. So, So it's good to see you, buddy. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to pop in. I wasn't 100% sure. We
I
were
wasn't
having a
either.
good time,
I
but I'm
wasn't
like,
sure
hey,
I
if
was
he
gonna be able to
comes
get out.
in, I wasn't sure whether I was going to let you in. Hey, I want to go. Joe gave a shout out for my shirt. I got my Callahan auto
That's
shirt
nice.
on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that shirt, and I'm an even bigger fan of the shirt you had on yesterday. But this one's quality too.
I don't remember yesterday, so we're going to move past that.
Okay.
Yesterday I was rocking my hashtag Team Schmitto.
Yeah.
Mean air guitar. That's Charles Williams. He can play a mean air guitar. Charles, I don't know if you've ever seen. They have there's legit battle of the bands type stuff that are air guitar battles, and it's
Ooh,
it is dude, it is intense, and they take it it's legit. It's serious. Just basically it's a performance of how crazy can you be, and how how close can you make it look like you're playing the guitar while playing air guitar. It's crazy. So
were you a fan of Lip Sync Battle with LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen?
No.
Oh, that show.
I don't know that I ever watched it actually.
Okay, if you can watch any replays, I could have rocked that show. That's just
I bet.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to fake it there. Now, I don't think I've ever watched that one, so
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the not a big fan, but I guess a fan of there was another one that was the rap off battles, where they'd have celebrities do rap battles. I can't remember what it was called, but
I think it was just called Rap Battle, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah, maybe it was just called Rap Battle. Yeah,
it was.
Those are entertaining. I like that because people they're in the moment trying to because I was never really sure whether they actually were doing it in the moment or if they were actually prepped beforehand. You never know with TV, but whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, whatever.
Anyway, so how's Michigan today? We got about 3 minutes here. We talked about the weather in Ohio, the weather in Texas. How's Michigan? Are you guys we're sitting at 81 still? Are you
degrees and sunny?
82. Well, you're further north, so you're closer to the sun, right?
I don't think that's how it works.
But
yeah,
that's how it works.
Well, maybe the tilt or something like that. I don't know.
With the tilt and gravity and
the sun is always shining over
hemispheres.
Yeah, but yeah, today
longitude,
longitude.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you go outside? Were you outside at all today, or are you stuck?
I forced myself. No, I might have taken a couple computers and phones and devices and acted like my camera wasn't working while I was on doing some meetings and that kind of thing. It was just too nice. But then for you, I come back down to the basement. And it's all good.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Were you at the university all day today?
Back and forth. Some of it was online, so it's a matter of going there, going online. Just it's a mess. It's a mess, Jeff. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah,
sounds like a mess. I want to look really quick. So I want to make sure that I don't forget to do this. Susan is leading us tomorrow night for Mastery Chat. If you don't know
Susan J. Is that
Susan J. Yes.
I always just call Susan J because that's the name that even a Schmitto can't pronounce.
Yeah, Susan. I hope Susan hates me for this because I used to say her name really well, and I don't want to mess it up. But Susan has been a Mastery Chat family member since before she when she was in school to become a teacher. And now she's a couple of years in, so it's been awesome to watch her grow and be a part of it. So that's awesome that she's I remember her doing, I think it was her first chat ever that she moderated. She did one that was questions from a pre-service teacher, and it was early on the Master Chat Day is a really, really cool one. So this is fun. So tomorrow night, 8:00 Eastern time over on Twitter. We got Susan leading us there. She'll be live with, I think she's got Megan afterwards.
That's awesome.
Is it Megan? Megan Deegan with her live afterwards. And Hedrick's back.
I was just going to compliment Hedrick. You talk about you can just break out in a dance at any time. That dance that you just did for Frozen was incredible. You did not move. It was insane.
You're in the wrong time. That wasn't Frozen. That was freeze frame.
Or Mannequin, or
the right eras. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So Master Chat tomorrow night in about an hour at 7:00 Eastern time. Dave is going to be back here live.
I am
with the bot. Isn't that tonight? You're making me feel okay. You're don't do that because I'm wait a minute, am I wrong? It's tonight. You and Caitlin kicking off the Focus on the Focus series, which is how many weeks is that?
5.
I don't even know. 5 weeks. 5 weeks. The next 5 Wednesdays, 7:00 Eastern time. Dave and Caitlin talking all about focusing on the focus around grading, assessment, feedback, and who knows where it might go from that starting point. But that is that was born from the last 12-hour live. Your session, you and Caitlin talking, just got talked about constantly and continually has been. And the bonus episode where I got to chat with you and Caitlin and talk about it is one of our highest played episodes ever on Teach Better Talk. So like, it's not just like a one-off thing. People are excited about this. You guys are both brilliant, and it's a really fun conversation. So that's tonight at 7 o'clock, same spot, wherever you're at, watching this right now, you can watch that. And then at the end of the 5 weeks, we're going to throw them all together, put them in a course on teachbetteracademy.com as well. So that's super excited. So that starts. What else we got going on? The April giveaway is going on right now. It ends tomorrow. So make sure you go over to Instagram and check that out, because I think it's just you have to follow the team on Instagram, share the post in your story with the word boom. I think that's all you got to do, and you got a chance to win. It's a video shout out plus an Amazon gift card. So that's going on. What else am I forgetting?
12-hour live coming up very, very soon.
12-hour live coming up on the 24th. You'll be there. I'll be there. Hedrick will be there. Caitlin will be there. And hopefully everybody else will be there as well. So got a lot of stuff. Focus on Focus tonight. We still have next week. You get both on Tuesday night. Again, you get the very last session of Chad's Building a Grid Live, where we have Mark Heller join in with an administrator's point of view, which is going to be really, really cool. And then Focus on a Focus again at 7 o'clock. So we'll see you all there tomorrow night or tonight at 7 o'clock, tomorrow on Mastery Chat. And Hedrick, thanks for hanging out with me and chilling out for a little while and having some fun. And we did the serious thing a little bit earlier. We talked through some stuff, and then we had some fun. We did good. We were good. We made sure we got enough goofball in where it was okay. So I've got to go. I've got meetings. I got to jump into a meeting with. You're going to be so jealous, Dave. I get to go hang out with Becky Schnexer right now.
What? No.
Yeah. Then I get to hang out with Katie Miglin after that. So
oh my gosh.
Hey, y'all know people having fun. I'm gonna go hang out with Melody McAllister. So bye.
Ooh, yeah.
That's true too.
Like people, say hi to my Alaskan friend.
I will.
I love it. Well, say hi and appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate you, Hedrick. Dave, glad you were able to jump in as well. I'm fairly glad that you were able to jump in as well. We were doing okay, but whatever. And we'll see y'all guys in about an hour with Dave and Caitlin for Focus on Focus. Have an awesome night. We'll see you.
Bye.